Good afternoon everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84. Just thought I'd do, the weather's turned out a little bit better now. I've been out in London today for a walk around and it was supposed to be raining all day and it's turned out quite pleasant. So I thought I'd do a short video on how hardy are my tropical fruits, or rather how tender are they, because there's quite a lot of misleading information on the internet and even on YouTube videos, and you do have to be a little bit on the careful side when you're considering when to bring them inside and protect them from winter weather. Here in the UK, I'm on the outskirts of London and I'm considered to be, using the US temperature zone climate, I'm theoretically zone 9, but that's extremely misleading because although the temperature here rarely drops below about -2 centigrade, maybe -3 maximum in this area over winter, which is probably about I guess it's about 26-27 degrees. It's a very misleading kind of minimum temperature. If you watch, as I do, a lot of American YouTube videos, and you'll regularly see people say my avocado, my mango, my star fruit, they survive drops to 26 or 27 degrees without damage. You need to be very careful because that can be very misleading. There's a big difference between those temperatures in Florida or California and those temperatures here in the UK. So what I mean by that is it's a different kind of cold. I mean, if you can imagine you're in Florida or California, which are, compared to the UK, quite a dry climate. I mean, here in the UK we're a sort of a cool oceanic climate, but what tends to happen is when you get these sudden drops in temperature in Florida or California on one evening or for a couple of evenings, basically because of the lower rainfall, the soil tends to be dry, the roots tend to be dry, and it's a dry cold. It's not a horrible damp wet cold, so those plants will possibly get a little bit of leaf damage, but it's unlikely to damage the roots or the trunks if you get down to those sort of temperatures. So when you look at something here like my little avocado, which I've still got outside, there's a very big disc being blown around a bit here. It looks like I've had some slugs or something attacking the leaves, but otherwise it's looking quite healthy. But the difference between that and when we get temperatures of -2 or -3 is here, because it's winter, the ground is like to be soaking wet and the roots will be soaking wet, and frankly we can get those temperatures consistently from November through to the end of March. I mean, not every night, but we could easily have 2 or 3 nights a week when it drops down to -1 degrees centigrade, about 28-29 Fahrenheit, which wouldn't do any harm if the plants were bone dry and you didn't have cold winds. But the problem is here the soil is likely to be soaking wet for month after month after month, and the plants are very, very prone, tropical plants in particular, to root rot. So realistically, although they might take 1 or 2 nights dropping to those temperatures over the course of winter, here it's going to last for weeks, if not months, of consistent temperatures in the daytime temperatures tend to average between about 35 and about 45 Fahrenheit, so that's between about probably about 3 or 4 degrees centigrade and about 7 degrees centigrade, and they can be those sort of temperatures all the way from November through to the end of March. And you'll get obviously the occasional days when it's 50 or 55 Fahrenheit, so about 10 to 12 degrees centigrade, but they're not the norm, they're a rarity. So the answer is, as soon as your temperatures are consistently dropping down to about 6 or 7 degrees centigrade, which again is about 40, 41, 42, 45 Fahrenheit, you've got to get your tropical plants inside here because they're going to have very wet roots and they're going to rot very quickly and you're going to end up disappointed. So the answer is, although they might take 1 or 2 nights in a dry climate of those sort of temperatures, forget it here in the UK. if you've got a greenhouse or a pond tunnel or a conservatory and you can keep them dry for several weeks before the temperatures drop, they'll definitely take temperatures around freezing or a little bit below. But I'm afraid if they're wet and you experience temperatures like that, well, the sun's come out now, and you experience temperatures like that, you're going to say goodbye to your exotic and tropical fruits. Citrus are probably slightly hardier, strawberry and lemon guavas slightly hardier, but any of the cherimoyas, tropical guavas, I've got obviously I've got sapodillas here, I've got papayas, I've got ice cream beans, I've got mangoes. They're all going to have to go inside the next week or so, so I'm watching the temperatures very closely and getting ready to move them out of any likely frosts. But that's our climate. But I said just be careful if you're watching videos. It's just to say that when you hear people say their avocados and their mangoes will take 27 or 28 Fahrenheit, which is -1 or -2 centigrade, don't be fooled, because that's a dry cold. It's not the same as here in the UK where we get consistent rain all through winter. So look after your plants, keep them protected, and try and keep them on the, keep them a little bit drier in winter, and they've got more chance of surviving those temperature drops. Anyway, that was my short video on hardiness of some of the tropical fruits. Thanks for watching, everybody. You're welcome to like, you can share the video if you want, you can subscribe to my channel if you want to, and of course you can, sorry about the beeping in the background, sounds like WhatsApp, and obviously you're welcome to click the bell if you want to see how my tropicals fare over winter. Sounds like the neighbours' children are out playing anyway. Thanks for watching, right out now, catch you in the next video.